And now, O Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments and statutes of the Lord, which I am commanding you today for your good. After reading that, part of me wants to say, oh, is that all? I mean, he basically just told us that we have to be perfect. But in light of all that God has given us and will give us, it really doesn't seem like all that much. I mean, there are a lot of rules and we constantly fail at obeying all of them, but when you consider all that God gives us, he's really not demanding all that much from us. God gives us joy, God gives us peace, God gives us contentment in this life, an abundant life, never ending in the life to come. So when you consider all the treasures that God gives us, what's he really asking of us? And that which God does ask of us is actually for our own good. Sin keeps us from living that abundant, fulfilled, joyful life that we should have in God. So God's commands aren't meant to hinder us, but to give us a more fulfilled, abundant, joyful life. On top of that, God actually ended up fulfilling the whole law for us. We couldn't walk in all of his ways or keep all the commandments and statutes of the Lord. So God sent Jesus to fulfill all these laws for us. And then he died for us so that we could be considered righteous in him. And all this actually glorifies God. By dying for our sins, Jesus showed that God is full of wrath towards sin, righteous in dealing with sin, and loving towards undeserving sinners. So even while showing us his grace, God is glorified. It just doesn't get much better than that. So fear the Lord your God. Walk in all his ways. Love him. Serve the Lord your God with all of your heart and with all of your soul, and keep the commandments and statutes of the Lord, because they're for your good and ultimately for God's glory.